We've seen today that Ramchandraji, Sitaji, Lakshman are proceeding in their journey towards the forest. Chitrakoot. They go first to Chitrakoot. This is all on way to Chitrakoot. So first they go to Bharatwad Muni's ashram. Bharatwad Muni is a great rishi. And then there's this wonderful discourses. So usually when we teach, even in a lot of the bhajans, but usually when we teach Balvihar, Ramayana, and we say, why did God come down to earth? And we follow that Gita verse, yada yada hi dharmasya jnani bhavati bharata. And dharma samstapanarthaya, to re-establish dharma. And dharma, what's the verse? To remove a dharma. I forget the verse now. But basically, to re-establish dharma and to remove a dharma. And so, Balvihar language is to get rid of badness. Although the kids will always usually say bad people. It's not bad people, because who are these bad people? I'll do this often in the Balvihar class when they'll say, when one's come down to remove bad people, I'll say, who's the bad people? Then they have a nice long list. But if I ask you personally in your life, who is bad people? Then your personal list of who is bad people. And then if I ask someone else, we feature in that list. Right? Of their enemy number one, or people who are causing them so much trouble, or people who are causing them stress, or people who are causing, especially if you were a boss or a teacher, you definitely feature in somebody's list. Yeah, I definitely feature as a teacher, making their life so difficult by being so strict with them. So who are these bad people? There's no such thing. There's only badness, or tamas, really. There's tamas. And so it's to destroy that tamas within us. That bit's easy. Well, it's not easy, but understanding when one comes to destroy, and we usually think of it, right? And actually, we still think about it in a Balvihar sense, because we think of it as whatever is done wrong has to get punished, and that's what he comes to do. Okay, fine. So this is the more important part of why he comes down to dharma samstapanarthaya, to establish dharma. How to establish dharma? And really, one is by doing it so that people can see how to do it, and people get inspired by doing it. But to explain, to teach, so that people even understand this concept. And today we were doing that Gargar Mein Gita satsang, and I had said the law of karma is basically that you do the action and then you get a reaction. But the minute you do the action, you're now bound by the reaction. Now, you people have heard it so many times, so you might not think anything of it. But the people in the satsang today were totally new. That's the beauty of Gargar Mein Gita, right? And when people invite their friends, so many who are coming who are not. And they were like, oh, like this is how action binds us. And it was such an aha moment. And then suddenly the need for karma yoga, the need for purifying their mind. So knowledge is this very incredibly powerful part of dharma samstapanarthaya, to be able to establish Balvihar language, goodness. Bhagavan comes to destroy badness and create goodness, inspire goodness, invoke goodness in all of us, establish the path of dharma. And when you read the Ramayana, this is what you'll see. There's so much satsang. So Bhagavan goes to Bharat Muni's ashram. There's so much satsang in the dialogue of what is being said by Bharatwaj Muni and what is being said by Ramchandraji. Now, Puja Guruji's book on the Ramayana is there. Hope everybody's aware of and it's beautifully written. Guruji is so easy to read. and can be bedtime reading for everybody now for the rest of the year. So I'm not going to repeat everything that's already there in the book. Also, we're not going completely by Tulsi Ramayana. So, but this so much of the Ramayana is satsangs. Ramchandraji meeting Santa Mahatma and the discussion between them. And we did this even in the Mahabharata. Even in the Mahabharata, I didn't focus too much on the satsangs necessarily. But if you saw, Yudhishthira was constantly meeting Santa Mahatma, and constantly there was discussions, which was satsang. And so that's why these texts are read, and that's why these texts are studied. And then Bharadwaj Muni is really basically the gist of that conversation is your punya is fulfilled when you have darshan. Like, in terms of what's the greatest wealth that we can have, that which never diminishes. Like if you have the wealth of money, well, money can diminish. If you have the wealth of beauty, it can diminish. Get sick only, all the color from your face goes. Right? It can get less. It can wealth of popularity. And bus, one thing you say wrong today. Today is so sensitive, everybody is. You sneezed in between while somebody else was talking, they get upset with you. But really, there's gone, all popularity gone because that one. And so, what's that wealth that never diminishes? Is that sense of reverence that we feel for Bhagavan and that absolute fullness in our heart of the feeling of grace. It just never gets less. If we actually feel that presence in our life, if we actually feel that there is grace, it doesn't diminish. In fact, in my experience, it only keeps getting more. That the wonder and the beauty and the sense of gratitude for having grace. It's a Bharadwaj Muni's revolves around this. The discussion between Bharadwaj Muni and Ramchandraji is Bharadwaj Muni saying that now I'm sorted, because now I had darshan. And then he guides Ramchandraji to go to Valmiki ashram. There's a lot of symbolism in the way he sends 4 young brahmacharis to escort Ramchandraji, and then Tulsidas-ji being a poet said it's like Ramchandraji, which is Paramatma. The 4 brahmacharis are like the Vedas. The Vedas are escorting or accompanying that supreme reality. So please do read Guruji, because it really is very good. In fact, Navratri just finished and Ram Navami just happened. Yesterday was Ram Navami. So actually, that's what in Navratri, they read Devi Bhagavatam, they read Ramayana, because every year it comes, you're not going to read the same thing also, right? So usually when we're doing the fasting, the purpose of the fasting is now you don't have to prepare the food. Eating doesn't take long. If I'm eating, it takes long. But if somebody else is eating it, I've seen people finish like in 3 minutes. They finish. It's like, wow. They just inhale the food. But cooking takes maha long. Have to go supermarket, buy vegetables, come home, pack fridge, clean. I don't even have lots of vegetables. I just have mint to put in my tea. But even that, every now and then I have to take out the leaves that have to get used first, otherwise they're going to spoil. Take out this one will last longer. That put it at the bottom. Will take 3 minutes to do that, and I only have mint. So that if I have to do that for all vegetables and then remember what to use first so it doesn't get spoiled, so much time and energy to cook. Really takes a lot of time and energy to cook. Now, if you're fasting, you don't have to do that one after lead. So now you have so much time. Read the scriptures. That's the purpose of what? One of the purpose. Of course, the body gets detoxed. Additional advantage. We learn self-control and we learn to control the mind. Discipline, also one of the advantages. But this was one of the main advantages because one of our excuses is when to read Ramayana, there's no time. We'll give you time. Take out all this cooking. Voila! You have a good 2 hours. In those 2 hours, read the scriptures. So the good thing about Navratri is it comes twice a year. So when it comes in September now, you'll all know what to do. Read every day for 1 hour, usually. Minimum. If you have more time, you can read for more. Or for any of these vratas that we want to take up. So 2 other points noteworthy here, that he goes to Bharadwaj Muni's ashram. Bharadwaj Muni is one of the people teaching the Ramayans. Remember when we started Tulsi Ramayana, there's 4 Ghats. One in the north, one in the south, one in the east, one in the west. And Ramayana is going on in all of the Ghats. One of the Ghats has Bharadwaj Muni teaching the Ramayana. And then the other one is Valmiki. So he goes from Bharadwaj Muni's ashram to Valmiki Ji's ashram. Valmiki Ji also teacher of Ramayana. So he has gone to these people's ashrams. These people are so blessed. They have actually met Ramchandra Ji, whose story then they write and then whose story then they teaching. I mean, imagine you dedicate your whole life to learning and understanding the Ramayana, and then this be able to actually see Ramchandra Ji themselves. And this is the point. What is Ramchandra? Why do avatars come to earth? Like, why even have avatars? Because actually, pretty much it's only our Sanatan Dharma that has avatars. Christianity, Jesus is the son, but he's not considered. They wouldn't say he's not God, right? Muhammad's considered prophet. He's not considered God also. I mean, they held in high respect, just like we hold Santa Mahatma in high respect, but they're not considered God. Here we say God only came. Yeah. Why would God come? Because that's the fulfillment of our punya. What's the how do we know we have punya? How do we know we have blessings? Satsang and darshan. Now, darshan means we can see with our physical eyes, but darshan also means we felt it in our hearts. I think I've given this example before, maybe not. I have very blessed to have reached Vaishnav Devi. If I tell the story, it's really such a joke. I didn't even know we were going Vaishnav Devi. We there. Then I didn't know what Vaishnav Devi was at the time. Yeah, and not so much, well, early days of my introduction to spirituality. They said, now we have to walk up 8 hours to see a temple. And I was like, what? Why did we come here? Whose idea was this? Why didn't I know about this? I nicely left it to, we were going in a big group and I nicely left all the planning to them. And this was one of the agendas. And so there we were in Vaishnav Devi. Now, I had no my own desire to go, right? And for me now, this was an 8-hour climb. We were supposed to be on holiday here. We're not supposed to be working. There wasn't a lot of bhakti happening there in my heart. Huh? So anyway, it was a phenomenal experience, because when you climb those 8 hours, you see everybody else's bhakti. And I'm very drastically aware of how lacking of bhakti I was when you're seeing these people's bhakti. There was this one man who doesn't have legs who was walking up. And it hears me complain. And one who did, Shashtang Namaskar, where his head was, then he stood up there, Shashtang Namaskar, then it was phenomenal. There were groups of people singing Devi bhajans as they were walking up. But really, such a wonderful experience. And when they say mother only calls and then you can go, well, she definitely wanted me there to show me how little bhakti I had. So we reach. Now, like I told you, I didn't know what Vaishnav Devi was. And so in Vaishnav Devi, it's a cave. So suddenly I'm in a cave. I'm thinking we're going to a Devi Mandir. I'm in a cave. And you pushed. This line is so long. When you get to the top, there's always a queue. So you pushed. And I didn't even know where to look. And I was pushed out. And when I was out now already. I walked 8 hours. I went through the whole thing, and now I'm out already. And I was like, what was that? I didn't see anything. And then they showed me a picture of it's like a lingam. It's not a lingam. It represents Devi. It's stones. Yeah. Until today, I'm not sure if I actually saw it with my physical eyes, or I only remember it from the photograph, because it was pushed in, pushed out. And the whole time I'm in there, I'm trying to orientate myself of where am I and what am I supposed to be looking at. Because in my head, I'm thinking, I go to a mandir, there's an altar, you close your eyes, you bow down, but nothing. It's on the floor. It's so low. I was out. Did I have darshan? Not at all. Even if I had physically seen the stone, did I have darshan? Not at all. And potentially because I myself didn't have that bhav in my heart, right? And there was no yearning to see the Lord. And then there's so many times when I've been in satsang with Guruji, with Swamiji, with Puja Gurudev, even watching a video. It's not even that Gurudev's alive here with me. I'm watching Gurudev's video and I'm listening to him explain something, or I'm listening to him say something about Krishna, Shiva, Ganeshji, and I'll close my eyes and it's like, it's there. What they're saying is there. Darshan. It's real, it's tangible, it's there. I feel its presence, I feel blessed by it. So darshan is this experience of divinity. And it amuses me because there's groups in Hong Kong where Tirtha Yatra is fashion. And then they'll come back and they'll say, I had very good darshan. I always want to ask them, what does that mean? The lighting was good. What do you mean? You had good darshan. Because people don't know what to say. Right? And it's not an experience like I went to Bali and it was a really nice sunset. It's not like that. Darshan is here when my heart is touched, when I feel Bhagavan's presence, when I feel I've seen. Yeah. And so Bharatwaj Muni says, when do we know we have blessed? When this feeling comes. This feeling of seeing or being with Bhagavan. And sure, we please go to Tirtha Yatra. But it's not in the place. It's in my yearning of wanting to see. Without that yearning of wanting to see, it's just a physical see. Sure. And most of our Tirtha Yatras, the temples are very old, and aesthetically there's not much to look at. Not to insult in any way, but aesthetically it's not so beautiful. In fact, now this new Ram Mandir, very beautiful. Because it's new. Otherwise, all our old temples, it's not aesthetic. The darshan is here. I remember the only other time we went to Guruvayur, which is a Krishna temple. This time I knew what we were doing. I willingly will. There was desire. And for me, every story I've heard of Guruvayur is because of Gurudev. Puja Gurudev used to go to Guruvayur very often because it's near Kerala, and so it was very much a part of their family tradition that they would go to Guruvayur. And so he would take lots of people with him. Then all these people talked about how they went to Guruvayur with Gurudev and would see this Krishna's murti, and the murti is small. It was beautiful. It was nicely decorated. I remember when I closed my eyes, I was thinking Gurudev. And so there's feeling, right? Gurudev came here to stand in front of this Krishna now, as though it's him that's brought me and Samak here, and I'm standing. And then you feel that's the Tirtha Yatra. That feeling connected to divinity. I just go, I just see, and I don't feel connected. I haven't gone anywhere. The journey has to be my wanting to see, my wanting to be with, my wanting to connect. And so, punya, the fulfillment of punya, is when we have these moments of connections with divinity. I said I wasn't going to talk about what Bharat Muni said, but I spoke about what Bharat said. But he only said fulfillment of punya is in having darshan of Bhagavan. I added all the rest of the masala. Then he goes to Valmiki Ashram, and then here again there's this. In Guruji's book, I think it's something like this many pages, for those of you who can see. This whole section of Ramchandraji asked Valmiki, where should I go live? 14 years I have to live in exile. Where should I go and live? And then, of course, Valmiki says, simply, you are asking me, you know everything. And all knowledge comes from you. Don't think I don't know who you are. And then finally, because you are asking, I will reply. And so he gives. For 14 years where you should live. In this section is a text in itself. And like I said, Guruji has elaborated on it extensively. Maybe we'll do it as a separate text, but for today, we're not going to do it. Today, I am soldiering on in the Ramayana. Not that I've gotten very far so. Then after Valmiki's ashram, they go and stay in Chitrakoot. Now here too, so first, Santa ashram. Now they go to Chitrakoot. The whole village people come and see them, and then all the nearby ashram people come and see them, and then in Hong Kong we don't have so much, right? But like old Hong Kong, there used to be the boat people, then the mainland Chinese people, then the local Hong Kong. Do we have different peoples? The expat crowd, this crowd. I'm trying to, because there's so many different groups that have gone. Like Ramchandraji has been exiled to the forest to sit in the empty forest. The forest is not empty. The forest is very happening. So many different people keep coming to visit Ramchandraji. Sitaji and Lakshman are constantly busy ushering people in, ushering people out. This is just in Chitrakoot. Okay. But they have now set up camp in Chitrakoot, and here too, like I said, so many different people are coming. Some cute conversations. Like someday you go to a party and somebody wants all the costs. So all the village people coming, you sit around Sita ji and like, why two men are here with you? Sita ji one's my brother-in-law, one's which one's your husband? Why are you in the forest? Is he good to you? Like, well, it's very cute. All very cute. And then Sita ji seems to be this type of daughter that any motherly figure kind of already starts really mothering. So all these village ladies now wanting to take care of Sita ji while she's there in the forest. But there is the ashrama, Aitriya Rishi and his wife, Anasuya. There's another satsang, this dialogue that goes on between Aitriya Rishi and Anasuya. Aitriya Rishi and Ramchandra ji, Anasuya and Sita ji. And here it is Anasuya ji who gives Sita ji this necklace, this sari that never gets dirty. I really want to meet Anasuya ji. I have had such a hard time finding the right sari, the right shade of orange, the right fabric. Every time I read that Anasuya ji gave Sita ji the sari that never gets dirty, I'm like, I want this. It doesn't get creased and looks always neat and clean. But how she had such a sari? And it was her tapasvic strength that she could make this sari. Like when we talk about siddhis, like so today, sure, today we have fabrics that don't crease, which is awesome. And then they were woven together in a certain way so that they don't crease. And we have to know that knowledge. Like you and I go and weave, how we'll create that sari, that for any fabric, how we know how to weave threads together so that they don't crease. How we even know that to take the cotton from the tree to make it into a sari. Even that's a siddhi. Even doing it with the equipment is a siddhi because you have to have the power to be able to do it. Now think of those days when they're living in the forest. There's no weaving machines. There's no nothing. Think how she created this. So Anasuya stands out in terms of great women of history. Not just because of this incident. Anyways, she stands out in terms of great women of history. Because she had these siddhis. Also, creating such practical things. Like earlier when our sage Vishwamitra taught them a mantra so that they don't get hungry. Any practical things. And so if you really think about siddhis and how we use it, power and how we use it, like to the utility value of things. How is not that way? Create wars and global pandemics. That's not power. Power is the person who invented a pad. So useful, made life so easy. The person who invented toothbrush. Why don't we know his name? Her name. Like really. Yeah. We use it all the time. It enriches our life on a daily basis. And the person who made wet wipes, thank you. Life just became so much easier. When we think about knowledge, it only blesses us when we can use it, right? If there's a need, you fulfill this need. Anasuya's, this is why she stands out as one of the great women in history. Need being fulfilled by knowledge. So knowledge is not enough. I have to have the power to do it. So I know how to, but it never gets done. So many people. I know how to make the best whatever dish, lasagna, pizza, but I never eat it. Why? Because they never do it. Or I know how to, whatever, fix your whole stock taking system of the books in the ashram. Very good. You knowing how to doesn't help. So many times when I'll say, can you come help? They'll say, I'll consult. It don't actually work. I will give advice, Ramaniji. I'm like, no, that's my job. Anasuya Mata gave this sari to Sita ji. But for her to have it, she would have had to create it. Or got it from someone else who created it. But it seems like she herself created it. And so the sense of what is siddhi and how to use it. Like we can have siddhis. How to use it. And sometimes we use it to be very impressive for show. And interestingly, that we groomed today with social media to project, make it look grand. Yeah. I take lots of pictures, unfortunately. I really don't like taking pictures, but people like it. So I think I've mentioned how people have so many tricks. So that you have to stand sideways. Okay, we'll stand sideways. And then what? Recently, when somebody was taking a picture, she didn't want to stand at the end. She looked thinner if she stands in between two people. Okay? True, not true, I don't know. But when they believe it, they really make you change how you're standing so that they can take this picture. How much we project? Okay? So when we have power, the sense of we project it, but it's got nothing to do. Power exists not to project it, to be useful. It doesn't have to be big. It's supposed to be just to make our lives. What's the word? Make our lives practical, useful, fulfilled. Anyway, Anasuya ji and Sita ji also have a very long conversation about what makes a good wife. A lot of it's outdated. How can I say that? In today's world, you cannot talk about what makes a good wife unless you're going to talk about what makes a good husband. I don't think they're so different. Today's world, I think, really just boils down to this determination. Before I used to use the word willingness to make it work. Now you no longer have to just be willing to make it work. You have to be determined to make it work because it's Kali Yuga. Maybe parents' generation, granted, willing to make it work was enough, it would work. Now we have to be determined. to make it work. And it will. So while Ramchandraji, Sitaji, and Lakshmanji are settled now in Chitrakoot, what is happening back at the palace? So Sumitra, the chariot driver, has gone back to Ayodhya. And Ayodhya is now the most gloomiest place ever. You know, during COVID, how the Hong Kong streets were empty? Or during protests. Like empty. It was so nice. You could walk in the middle of the road. It was empty. Ayodhya was empty, but it felt weird, right? When our streets were empty. In Australia, America, they don't feel weird when the streets are empty. But like for us, it felt so weird that the streets were empty. Felt like a ghost town suddenly. Where are all the people? Because we're so used to all the buzz of people just constantly being there. They're all back now, by the way. Which is good. I'm not complaining. But Sumitra goes back to Ayodhya, and it is completely empty. And nobody wants to be seen. Nobody wants to do anything. Nobody wants to no one's in a good mood. Anyway, he goes all the way back to the palace, and Dasharatha Maharaj has moved out of KK's palace. So as I mentioned, they all had their own palace. And then this Krodha room, I'm not sure if the Krodha room was in KK's palace or if it was a communal every Krodha room for all the palaces. But from the looks of it, it seemed to be in KK's palace. So wow, every palace had their own Krodha room also. The perks of being a king and queen. So much space. But he did not, he no longer wanted to stay there. He didn't want to be anywhere near KK now. And so he had himself moved to Kaushalya's palace. This I think I mentioned already. I mentioned it already. Okay, great. So now he's still in Kaushalya's palace, but he's still lying on the floor. Like he was lying on the floor in the Krodha room. He's still here and he's still lying on the floor. And Sumitra comes in, and this poor Sumitra, especially in Tulsi Ramayana, the description of him is so dukhi. Like, you know, he can barely walk. His shoulders are so, like, the sorrow is so overwhelming. It said that Guha had to send people with him because he thought he was going to collapse and faint on the way. And grief is like this, huh? Of course, sometimes people pretend to be in this kind of grief, but when people are in this, you can actually be in this kind of grief where literally they faint from the grief. So but he makes it back to the palace, and he goes to see Dasharatha Maharaj, and Dasharatha Maharaj is holding on to his life on the off chance that Sumitra is actually going to be bringing Ramchandraji back, because the instruction was, go, just see the forest and come back. And of course, Ramchandraji wasn't going to ever do that. But Dasharatha, like 1% chance that Ramchandraji comes back, Dasharatha Maharaj is holding on to his life. But now that Sumitra comes back, he wants to hear everything that happened. So Sumitra tells him, we went to the village, they slept under that tree, they ate this, the people didn't want them to go, we went to the Ganga, and the Sitaji offered her worship to Ganga Maya, the whole thing. And then he said, and then coming back here, they all had messages. So this is what Ramchandraji said, this is what Sitaji said. So Sitaji also sends her love, well wishes. And interesting, they all tell each other to, Ramchandraji tells the mothers to look after Dasharatji. He tells Dasharatji to look after the mothers. See, Sita ji just offers her salutations and tell, her assurance that she is very, very happy being there. And then Sumitra says, and then Lakshman spoke some harsh words, but Ramchandra ji forbid me to repeat them. So why would he even say that? Because Dasharatha Maharaj might ask, well, what about Lakshman? Did he say anything? But a father knows their child also. Dasharatha Maharaj would have known that Lakshman was going to say something. What Lakshman says is harsh but true. And so, what did Lakshman say? Basically, this is your fault. It's your fault we are in the forest. And of course, Ramchandra ji is upright enough to be able to live out dharma. But this is Lakshman's loyalty to Ramchandra ji, that anybody else takes it. We need not be like that. Even though it's really sweet how much Lakshman loves Ramchandra ji, we don't need to become like that. I say this because I'm like you. We don't need to be like that. We can be a little bit sweet also. I'm telling myself. If you all hear also, it's nice. And then Dasharatha Maharaj realizes Ramchandra ji is not coming. And this is Dasharatha Maharaj's glories. Is this one, where he chooses death rather than living without trauma. In a way, he chooses it. And in a way, a curse comes into effect. So he narrates the story of, what's his name? What's his name? Who's the person he killed? Should be Shravanakumar. I found it the same time. A much younger Dasharatha went out hunting in the forest. Why are there so many stories of these kings hunting? To show how bad it is. Pandu went out hunting, got cursed. Dasharatha went hunting and got cursed. Don't go hunting unnecessarily. In fact, in the Mahabharata, somebody even says that. Pandu was told, don't go out hunting. No need. But it's an interesting adrenaline rush that they get out of it. And it's also a power that I can destroy. Whenever we chase these highs, there's a danger of very bad consequences when we chase these highs. Today's we don't go hunting, although some people still do, but we still chase the high of wanting power, wanting that adrenaline rush. So he heard the sound of water. He thought it was a deer drinking the water, but it was Shravan Kumar putting a mud pitcher into the water and then blip, 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 blip. So had come. Now Dasharatha Maharaj was an excellent archer. From hearing the sound, he shot. And then he heard a human cry. And he was startled. He thought he was shooting a deer. And how do you assume that in the forest no human beings are there? Shouldn't you look? and killing can never be a sport. So yes, the kings did it, but it can never be a sport. So he goes to Shravan Kumar. And Shravan Kumar says, you've shot me, and it's done. There's no point in being angry with you. Look at him, huh? Even Banu shot the Rishi and the Rishi girls. Just look at Shravan Kumar's sattva or presence of mind or compassion, or like it's done. It cannot be undone, and there's no point now in lamenting about it. But I was filling this water for my parents. So please make sure it gets to them. Imagine that's his dying wish. They thirsty. They were blind. Yeah. This all he doesn't say. He's dying. Can't have one lumbar conversation. Look at presence of mind. This act is now incomplete. I'm not able to complete it. Please complete it. And that love for his parents, that they thirsty, please take them water. And also this such an incredible temperament. You've shot me, it's done. Screaming at you is not going to change anything. And with such a presence of mind, he died. No doubt where he would go would be amazing. And so Dasharatha Maharaj goes to find these parents. He's walking towards them, and they are blind. They also very, very, very old, and they not able to walk. So Shravan Kumar was actually carrying them in 2 baskets and holding the stick between the 2 baskets on his shoulders. And by the footsteps only, the mother says, Shravan, that's not you. Where is our Shravan? Because when one sense is gone, the other sense is very cute. And from the way a person walks, we can recognize. We can recognize the way they step, their weight, the speed. Darshan Maharaj is not saying anything. He takes the water and he puts them in the hand. Again, this is not Shravan. Who are you? And where is our Shravan? Still, he's not saying something. I'm sure he's very genuine. Dasharatha Maharaj wasn't a malicious person. He wasn't power hungry. He wasn't. Anyone hurting anyone, we don't feel bad. I mean, we feel bad. And even I step on your foot, I'll feel, yeah, I've killed someone. It's already a lot of incredible amount of remorse. And then these 2 parents who are pining for their son. They elderly, he's the only son. So much attachment, and he's looked after them so well. He's looked after them so well. And finally, she won't drink. The fathers also asked, "Where's Shravan? Who are you? Why aren't you talking?" But they won't drink. So finally, Dasharatha says, I thought it was a deer I shot, but it was actually your son. So now he's no more. But he wanted you to have this water. Their grief is horrendous. Any parent will have immense grief. If their child is hurt, not even killed, just hurt. And then if killed, or even if they die naturally, horrible, but the sense of being killed and so uselessly, like for such a silly, just suppose such a superficial reason he was hunting, the anger that they felt out of the grief that, that you've taken our son away from us. Now, any parent would feel this. And already it would be immense how much they are feeling. But here you have to remember, they are blind, they are unable to walk, they're extremely old, they can't look after themselves. And you've killed the one person that will look after them. So of course Darshan Maharaj says, I'll take you back into the kingdom. I will look after you. You will become my responsibility. And he would. Darshan Maharaj was virtuous enough that he would honor them. They don't want. They don't want to suddenly have the stranger look after them. The affection and the love they would feel to their own child, the solace and the comfort that they would feel with their own child, they're not going to feel with the stranger. And it's not a desire to live, right? And it's never that we just want to live. It's the quality of life we have has to do completely with the people that we are with. Really, the quality of life we have is the people we are with. And so they curse him. Shravan Kumar didn't curse, but these parents curse. What's the curse? You will die pining for your son. You will know our pain. Now here the story is told by Dasharatha Maharaj, saying that this is my karma that's come back to me. And Dasharatha Maharaj's life is a really interesting one. Ramchandraji being born as his son is his karma. He did so much tapas to get darshan of Bhagavan. And then Bhagavan says, ask what you want. And they ask, come as my son. And so Ramchandraji being born is the results of actions done, karma. And now to die this way is also results of actions done. Very interesting that you can do so much action and you can get something so great. It doesn't mean the next thing you're going to get is great. This is why it's not about getting darshan. It's about getting moksha. Because you can have darshan of Bhagavan. Here, Dasharatha Maharaj had Bhagavan come and live in his house as his son. And yet that doesn't free you from suffering. What frees you from suffering? Knowing that this body is not me. And that these actions and these reactions are all a leela, and it's time to rise above them. For as long as we stay here wanting things, suffering continues. Wanting Bhagavan to come as their son is want. It doesn't end suffering. Desire doesn't end suffering. Knowing that desire doesn't end suffering, ends suffering. Because it will end desiring. What should I want? Nothing. Nothing. I don't want anything. No, not like that. It's like when you've eaten and you're so full and you ate your favorite food. After 1 week of European pasta pizza, you came home and had dal rice with yogurt and achar. Papar was also there. Then now full. You want anything? Nothing. Full. It should be like that. The wanting of nothing is not, I'm scared. Don't give me anything. I'm trying to get rid of desires. No, don't. I don't want anything. Can't be an emotional reaction like that. It's out of contentment and fullness. There's nothing. If really Bhagavan has come in front of me, my heart is full, what will I ask for? But they asked, come as my son. Means desire was still there. If desire is still there, suffering is still there. But also, Dasharatha Maharaj tells the story. He created this suffering. He took away Shravan Kumar from his parents. And so now, he is dying, literally dying, out of missing Ramchandra. But karma is not so black and white. I think I've mentioned this. And that I step on an ant and kill it. Next life, somebody will step on me and kill me. It's not like that. It's not so black and white. Here, Ramchandraji is alive. It's just that separate. I caused suffering. And then that immense repenting and anguish. I've done this to my son. My son has to go live in the forest for 14 years. Shravan Kumar's parents, my son is unjustly taken away. Right? It's that feeling of being cheated from something. What is Dasharatha Maharaj feeling? The same feeling of something so precious taken away. What is karma? Whatever pain I've caused is the pain I feel. I'm such a nice person. Then no problem. Only nice things will happen. But no, I'm such a nice person and bad things are happening. Acha? The difference is we don't understand sometimes the effects of our action and how much it hurts so many, or how much it benefits so many people sometimes. Not that we can live in fear that I never want to hurt anyone. At least with the intention. And so literally, Dasharatha Maharaj, thinking of Ramchandraji, reads his last breath, saying, now Ram and Lakshman are in Chitrakoot. Bharat and Shatrughan are at Kekeya. They've gone to visit their mama, Nana. He was alive. You need a son to do the last rites. He had 4. None of them are there. Interesting how this works. We make all provision, parents who will plan, have sons who tick. If we can't, we never know what life's going to do. Even during COVID, they had son, but son couldn't reach. Daughters and wives were doing last night. However much we do planning. Ultimately, Ram Bharosa, whatever is meant to be as per our karmas. But Bharat is called. A messenger is sent. He rides through the night. He reaches first thing in the morning. Bharat, you have to come back. It's urgent, emergency. He leaves. Literally, there can't be much to pack. They used to ride on horses. Rushes back to Ayodhya. Shall we stop here? Because then long conversations happen once Bharat reaches Ayodhya. I'll stop here. Now, next week, no class, 3 weeks. There'll be class on the 16th of May. Is that 3 weeks? Next week, Tuesday is Hanuman Jayanti, Hanuman Chalisa chanting. So there's no Viveka Chudamani class. There'll be Gita class on Wednesday, and Thursday I leave. In 3 weeks, they won't be class. I don't think we'll finish Ramayana before the summer. I could fast track it. Don't fast track it. Already I'm not doing the satsang. I'm doing satsang. Not the satsang, but in the Ramayana. No questions?
They visit age 12.
You can ask.
They visit Bali.
They visit Malviki. G. Yes.
But later on, when Sita goes to him, it's mentioned he doesn't know who she is as.
He knows. Valmiki ji knows who Sita ji is. He knows. They've just met.
Yeah.
How will he not know? No, she asked specifically to go to his ashram. It's close by, right? Chitrakoot is fairly close by, relatively speaking, to Ayodhya, because even Bharat comes back. I think it's 2-day journey or something. Even Love and Kush come to Ayodhya. It must be less than 2 days. Relatively close by.
But nobody else.
It's not Hong Kong side, Kowloon side, but be Shanghai. No, that's too far. Guangzhou. Maybe Guangzhou. No, but also you have to remember those days they traveled by horse. Right? So in today's journey, Chitrakoot to Ayodhya would be quite fast. By car, it would be quite fast. Anyway, your question is, does Valmiki know who Sita ji is? Most definitely. Where it said he doesn't know.
She doesn't actually announce when she goes there.
No, he knows. He teaches love and Kushta Ramayana knowing who they are. You can't expect Valmiki ji not to know when he's a seer. Seers can see. He knows. Why are you laughing now?
I asked a foolish question.
No, because I said seers can see. Because so profound I am. Seers can see. Yeah, I'm not here, so you can remember it for the next month. Seers can see. I said so many other things also. You can remember those things also. He's teasing. All these people who listen to these recordings must be thinking, what kind of computer? They just say anything. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kasyit Dukkhamat Bhavet Asato Ma Sagamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurmamritam Gamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Hari Om Krishna.